Today on Schmoedown, it's a big movie trivia Schmoedown Championship of the World match. And it features a man with a ton of momentum versus a man with a lot of momentum. So the big question that remains to be seen is a lot of momentum more than a ton of momentum? Because a ton of momentum is a lot. Just improv, people, just bear with me. So, William the Beast Bibbiani, Dangerous Dan Murrell, Movie Trivia Schmoedown Championship of the World. Let's find out who comes out on top now on JTH Reacts to the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. And welcome back. So as the intro kind of showed, late last night, and fortunately for me, I didn't find out about this last night because I wouldn't have been able to sleep on it. The Schmoedown community, and more importantly, the Schmoedown reaction fan community, lost a very dear friend in Jeff Malicki. Lost his battle to testicular cancer, which is really sad and unfortunate. For me personally, this really hits a little bit harder because Jeff was actually the first within the reactor group that kind of saw my content. And he was one of the original reactors. Obviously, there was Late to the Party, Take 3, David Crossan with Retro Gaming Rewind, and then Jeff. And then I started doing it shortly afterwards, along with Anthony Rodriguez and Shinguku Station and several others. But Jeff was one of the original reactors, and he was the first person that noticed my content and started commenting on it. And so very early on, I started chatting with Jeff pretty regularly about Schmoedown because we both had, similar and same passion for it. And I'll never forget some of the early stuff that he talked about when he saw my early reactions. He was like, your reactions, the thing he always noticed about my early stuff was, and as it went on, was my particular humor during my reactions, because he mentioned that I kind of had a Muppety style humor, just nothing but bad jokes and groaners and gags and just weird catchphrases, like doing the yay every time they start the match. And I'll never forget when he first talked about that. He's like, your humor during your reactions, different, but kind of fun. And I always found that pretty funny and humbling, because from that moment on, Jeff was always a firm watcher of all my reactions and always had fun and always had a blast. And I'd always watch his content back. So we started chatting pretty frequently when I started. It's hard to believe it's already been over 2 years since I started doing this. So I got really saddened and really bummed when I heard that he wasn't doing too well. And then when the news broke last night, and when I found out this morning, it was really tough to hear that news. Now I'm going to put a link in this video to Jeff's GoFundMe page, which he's had running for a while. They've raised decent amount of money, but they can always get more. Every dollar goes a long way to helping that. And I'm gonna miss Jeff. He was a lot of fun to watch his reactions to. He's one of the most passionate guys to Schmoedown that there's been, and it's going to be sad knowing that next Schmoedown reaction isn't going to come from Jeff. So it's really a shame. So with that, we have to move forward, as Jeff, I'm sure, would want us to do. And pretty big matches today. Singles championship match. Murrell and Bibbiani. I've been really torn about who I wanted to have win this match, because obviously fans of both players. Schmoedown, there's really no wrong player to want to be the champion here. Both are very deserving champions to have represent the game and the show. So ultimately, I just want a good, fun, entertaining match, which it's Dan Murrell and Bibbiani, so we know they're going to do that. So on behalf of everybody, hooray! Just throw that old free-for-all streamer that I had eons ago. So the headphones are on. Here's to a good match also. Cheers. And let's do this in 3, 2, and 1.
All I'm saying is, if you were going to do Central Intelligence, I was available too if you'd like to
weird.
show guys stuff.
Commish.
Hey!
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on,
Oh,
buddy?
hey, Dan.
I was getting ready for my match.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard you want to see me.
Yeah, sorry, I was just finishing up a conversation with my buddy DJ over here. So,
DJ?
Look, man.
He ain't no DJ.
I've been thinking, I see you got this old, rusty old thing on your shoulder. I like it too, but, I got to tell you.
I wore it.
I think we're done with the old.
Okay.
And we're in with the new.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Oh,
is that mine?
That is all yours for the moment, my friend.
Okay.
So, can I help you out here?
I mean, this is the only time
Oh.
I'll give you this belt.
Oh, great. Now he can massage it all he wants.
All right.
But I want this to be all yours.
I like that. Hang on. Let's try to. Let's see.
Yeah, what do you think?
Let's see. It sits good.
Yeah?
It sits well on
Feels
the shoulder.
right?
It feels right.
It's
right.
round.
Sharp edge here.
Mm-hmm.
I might need a Band-Aid, but other than that, I think we're good. I like
right.
this. I like this belt.
I like
You mean
it
a
too.
bandage?
I gotta tell you.
Band-Aid is the brand name.
I know you got your championship match ahead of you.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking a lot about this man. If you defend that belt again,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to do something.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to get you some more belt polish. You know what you call that? Commissioner.
Teasing.
All right.
Teasing. You don't mean it.
I thought he wanted to play me.
He does. Don't kid yourself. Boom, boom, boom. Whoosh. Dum, boom, dum, boom, dum, boom. Bing, ding, da, ding, dum, ding, dum, ding, ding, da, ding, 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 da, ding, dum, ding. Hello, Mark. Hello, Christian. The gang's all here. You are looking live from Collider Studios in Burbank, California. Wearing the carrot suit because the Tetris suit is retired and old. Out with the old and in with the more old.
Much less who's going to come out of this on top. William Bibbiani, the #1 contender, versus the current belt holder, Dan Murrell.
Now, the thing is, it's funny you say that with the brand new belt. We saw Sam Levine present
I feel like I just saw that clip.
Gorgeous. Dan even said it, and I heard him say it a couple times, that it's funny. We've had 3 versions of the single belt. Dan Murrell has held all 3 of those versions of that belt.
Yeah, we had the little tiny one, then we had a nicer one, and now we have
the big singles championship, that big one. You're thinking about the little dinky crap one we have for teams, but yes, that's the version of it too.
You and I won. You should be proud of it.
I am very proud of it, but I don't know if I can be more proud of
He's
Dan
not.
Murrell. The guy's been. He's
not like Bret Hart. Not going to break a trophy.
He made a big comeback.
Actually, that was Bad News
year.
Brown's
He didn't win the
trophy.
tournament,
So
but he came back. He got a #1 contender shot, and he got it, and he took the title from Ethan Irwin in New York. And you figure that's good enough.
And now you're showing the old belt again. Dude, put the new belt right over top of it. Just paste it.
Wins the free-for-all.
Hey, I was there.
That wasn't
Hey,
the big
they just
story
showed a
of
streamer.
the day,
The
even though
streamer that
the
I
big story
stole.
was the man that is playing today, and that's William the Beast Bibbiani. He started out as number
Continuity.
one, went all the way to the end, the final
And
death,
went
the
a
final
billion
death.
zillion
Dan Murrell
rounds.
and JTE.
Yes, that's a real
didn't pull it
number.
off, but came close and won the hearts of many by doing so.
I mean, he started getting chance of
Won the
MVP
hearts of
halfway
many.
through the free-for-all,
If-
and deservedly so. One of the finest
If
performances
Bibbiani won your heart
in a
over
movie
during the
Schmoedown
match,
event. And
how
when you talk
dare
about
you
guys
have
who
not
are
had your
starting
heart won
only
over
in,
beforehand?
movie trivia categories, they
Lame.
Can do it at bars, they can do it up here at the desk, they can do it in front of thousands of fans, and they're prepared to do it one more time here with it all on the line.
You said that before as far as the MVP goes. Yeah, he was the MVP, and because of that, he got a #1 contender shot. That's not how he got here today.
Yes.
He got the #1 contender shot because he won a match earlier against Lon Harris.
That
this
I
season. Then
predicted.
He won a triple threat match
That I
against
predicted.
Ethan Irwin and John Roca to earn him. He is on fire right now, and he still has that #1 contender match in his back pocket. Now, the flip side of that is Dan Murrell won the whole free-for-all. He has a title shot in his back pocket. He can use that whenever he wants, whenever. So that's also, it's up in the air as far as what's going to happen inside of this match in the future. So much happening. Of course, we got Houston coming up. But let's just hear from our competitors, the challenger and the contender. Here we go.
We actually going to get promos this time? Or are you gonna cheat us?
You got the Beast Bibbiani, who since this thing
Don't know yet.
flooding my email inbox saying I should be the guy. I'm the champion. I can be able to do this. Get me in there, coach.
I'm the champion at 0-0. Oh, promo. Oh, still standing.
Growl Beast Arenas, Bibbs is back, and I am
Still standing.
still standing.
2 years in a row, the MVP, William the Beast Bibbiani.
And he's so
I
cuddly.
haven't sat down since free for all. I am pumped, and I am on a collision course, and I am here to play the dangerous one, Dan the Earl Murrell. That doesn't make any sense.
No. Nope.
Three-time champion of the world.
I'm back from New York. It's great to be back in the studio. It's great to be anywhere with the Schmoedown title belt on my shoulder.
I don't know about you, Dan, but I've had one hell of a season so far, all right? I knocked out contenders, taken on the title champions in the highest scoring team match in history, made history at free-for-all. Jeremy Irons and Gerard Depardieu.
And your winner.
William Bibbiani on a all-time legendary roll.
I am the hardest working man in the Schmoedown. Hell, I run the Schmoedown site. Where's
Trivia
your-
SD.
Our winner.
Where have you been? And your winner. That's a little vague, isn't it?
Bibbiani since before I retired. Everyone was talking about Bibbiani is the heir apparent. Bibbiani's the greatest to ever play this game. I stood up there next to him at the free-for-all. That was his turf. That was his game. And I outlasted him. I went into Bibbiani's event and beat him. Can he come into my event and beat me?
Just kind of saunters in like the back third of the free-for-all. Just like, do-do-do-do-do, I'm Dan Murrell. And then he just comes in and he wins because he's all good and stuff.
The only person that can beat you apparently is Dan Murrell.
Hopefully, you know, if somewhere down the road I really want to challenge Dan for realsies.
This is the first time these two have ever faced each other.
1 month
Championship
later.
We're going to see Bibbiani and Murrell. They're going to
Yeah,
clash,
oh,
and they've been talking about this match
and
for a long
he threw
time.
that big
It's finally
cash
get it.
that I got.
Title shot. I got it in my back pocket and I can use it anytime I want.
I'm cool. I got a free contenders match. I can come back like next week.
Beast, this is a clash of the titans. We went head to head and I eked it out, but I can do it again. This isn't a free-for-all. This
Oh,
isn't a
there's the
best
money.
of 5 questions. This is a best of 5 rounds. And at the end of the day, I am going to come out on top. And if for some reason you take this belt from me, the game might not be over.
I have one last thing to say at the end of this promo to give the editors something to work with.
Growl.
Dan, I am so looking forward to playing you. You are so talented. You're the best. I
Swerve.
want to play for forever. So let's go, buddy. Let's go.
Growl. I'm not really writing anything. I'm gonna play him so bad because he's so good, and I'm good too. So it's a match of 2 good players. I just wrote out a Bibbiani promo.
I mean, you look at that. What I'm most excited about, I got to be honest with you, is just watching the entrances because Dan Murrell always comes in. He's cool. He's calm. He's collected. William Bibbiani, he always does something spectacular when he comes through the curtain, something unexpected. I think he saved his best for here today. We're about to find that out.
You usually do.
We shall
Also,
see.
like I said, when William Bibbiani joined the league in 2016, they were saying he is the next Dan Murrell. He is going to be the heir apparent, and he had a bumpy road. I believe, and I think a lot of other people believe, he is playing at the potential that we thought he would now. His stats are incredible. This is the match you wanted to see. If you ever wanted to see Dan Murrell against William Bibbiani at their best, it's today.
It's right now. I mean,
you had to wait 3 years, but it's here.
Movie trivia Schmoedown. Christian, it's like Washington and Jefferson going at each other presidenting.
Well, here are some notable.
Not sure about that, but
contenders. We start with contender William the Beast Bibbiani. He has been the MVP for the free-for-all 2 years in a row. He is a former
he's telling you about his stats and his accomplishments.
And then you have dangerous Dan Murrell, the free-for-all winner.
He's looking at his stats.
Title,
he's telling you that there's 5 stats, but I only see 3.
That's correct. And if you didn't hear Christian over the volume of my jacket, he did say we're going to be in Houston, May 18th, when the movie trivia Schmoedown goes to Texas. They do things big in Texas. Everything's bigger there. They love their state, and we are going to be happy visitors. I'm also doing stand-up.
They love their state. They love their steak. They love their shake. They love their everything.
Either my website or triviasd.com or the schmoedownlive.com.
That's right. May 18th. Now, will Dan Murrell be walking into that match, the Founding Fathers versus Double Toasted, with that title around his waist? We'll find out, and we're about to find out right now. Mark, are you ready?
Oh, dude, I've been ready for this since I was born.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the
Movie Trivia Schmoedown.
5 rounds for the Movie Trivia Schmoedown
Championship of the world.
Introducing first.
Well, gonna tease us to the last second.
With a record of 7 wins, 5 defeats, and 4 knockouts. He is the 2018 and 2019 free-for-all MVP and the former Movie Trivia Schmoedown champion of the world, the #1 contender, William the Beast.
I see somebody. What's going on? Uh-oh.
So, you thought it was going to be something cool. You thought it was going to be another big entrance. You thought Bibbs, he's the guy with the big entrances. It's a championship match. It's going to do something huge. Well, I'm out of ideas. Didn't have anything clever. Didn't have anything funny. I don't even have a cool movie reference, something everyone likes. So I'm just going to walk out of that curtain, and I'm going to give you a match to remember.
He killed the chair! Killed the chair! They got nothing. Could have gave me a call. You saw me in L.A. I could have hooked you up.
Very simple. Are there gremlins coming out? Is there?
We're doing it in post.
Oh, okay. And his
Apparently we're not.
Representing the 5 Horsemen with a record of 11 wins, 4 defeats with 7 knockouts. He is the 2019 free-for-all winner.
I can't quite get it all right. And I've only listened to it about a billion zillion times. I use that term again. You're not Murrell. You tricked me.
Respect there, O'Reilly to Bibbiani, and the champ comes in. Champ comes in, sizes up the challenger, shaking hands, getting ready to play in the brand new belt. Look at that belt. Look at that belt.
Look at that belt.
Look at that.
Wow.
Wow.
Look at the sportsmanship.
Yes.
Displayed.
Dibs.
I call dibs. Bibs dibs.
Bibs dibs.
Bibs dibs.
It feels rude to sit down while Bibbs is standing. Can I stand up too?
If you want to, yeah, absolutely.
It worked out great at the free-for-all.
Yeah.
I don't want to be impolite.
Okay. All right. So with that, the
Yep.
champion, the challenger,
They have no extensions.
round championship medal.
Still need a bigger budget.
How does it work?
In round number 1 of this 5-round slate, you're going to hear 8 questions from 8 different corners of the
Now the
movie
question will
trivia
be,
Schmoedown galaxy. Each
how many
question
questions
is
can
for
I get
one.
right
There's no
in this
punishment,
championship
there is
match?
no stealing.
I
In
guess
round
one
number 1. As soon as we ask
and a
a
half.
question, please write down your
because
best attempt
I'm
and answer
cool
on
like
the
that.
whiteboard in front of you. After that 15 seconds is up and we address you by your name, please show what you wrote to your camera at the same time you verbalize your answer into the microphone. I will remind each competitor you have 3 usages of the JTE rule throughout the duration of the match. If you're not sure you heard a question, you need to repeat it, or you just want to buy yourself some time, use a JTE
You want to
rule.
stall?
You each have 1 challenge.
Are
at
you
any time
stalling?
throughout the 5-round match.
All right. So we ask the champion, are you ready?
Oh yeah, let's do this.
Challenger, are you ready?
Growl, growl.
Then let's get ready to Schmoedown!
Yay!
5 rounds, gentlemen, 5 rounds. Question number 1. In the realm of action-adventure, which film in the Die Hard franchise is known for the line, Simon Says?
Need the
Title. We need the title, not the number.
Not the number.
I was getting there.
You can't just be like, oh, it's Die Hard 8. I bet we're getting that.
I bet you so, too. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Die Harder.
1.
No, you can't read
Dan?
that.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yes, sir,
Oh.
William.
Die Hard with a
Tie
vengeance.
game.
I said in the last video that I even tested the marker to see if it works, and then
All
it
right, your next
didn't
question comes
freaking
from the world
work.
of classics.
Oh,
Classics.
ain't gotta worry
The
about
question is
this.
simple. Who directed Lawrence of Arabia? And a hush falls over our studio audience.
That doesn't work a lick.
4, 3,
Don't know.
2, 1. William?
That would be the incomparable David Lean.
Yes, Dan.
David Lean.
Tie game.
I think I got
They
that.
know their stuff.
All right. Famous actors and actresses. Chris Cooper plays horse trainer Tom Howard in which 2003 sports film?
You ever ridden one?
Sport?
A horse.
Oh, yes. 5.
Have you?
4, yeah. 3. Goes to New York. 2.
Seabiscuit.
What, around town?
Pens down, please. Dan.
Seabiscuit?
Yes, William.
Seabiscuit.
Tie game. Tie game.
AKA the biscuit. Yay, I got my 1.
All right.
Now how am I going to get my half?
The world of animated movies.
Oh, this might be
These are
my
animated
half.
Films drawn by hand or on a computer. Your
Thanks, Mark.
question, who voices the character of the Underminer in The Incredibles and The Incredibles 2? All right, so back to this horse riding thing.
Yeah.
So, what do you just around?
It was at a
Queens?
ranch.
Oh, you said New York.
In New York.
I
At a
imagine
ranch.
you're riding like a
ranches
horse.
in New York. It wasn't Manhattan, you dope.
Hey, I'm gonna get on my horse. Go get a slice.
4, 3,
Is it Samuel L. Jackson?
1. Pens down, please. Starting with William.
Pretty sure this is wrong. John Lasseter?
No,
Yep.
and William. I mean Dan.
John Ratzenberger?
That's correct.
Oh.
He was in Cheers
knew it was
and
a
The
John.
Empire Strikes Back.
That's correct. Okay, next question. Next question. Fantasy sci-fi. Fantasy sci-fi. Which actor plays Data in the Star Trek franchise?
Hey everybody! I just discovered an amazing turn of events. Interstellar travel.
So, nobody's ever named a horse Larry.
They should. 5,
Looking for a Snickers.
4, 3. Larry Snickers. 2.
Brett Spiner.
1. Pens down, please. And Dan.
The great Brent Spiner.
Yes, William.
The great Brent Spiner.
5-4. 5-4.
All right, Brent Spiner.
Yep.
I guess I should have said the great Brett Spiner, and then they all would have been copying me.
Justin Long, Anna Faris, Ryan Reynolds, and Christian Harloff. I read that wrong. Dane Cook star in what 2005 film? These gonna have to use a JT.
Maybe. 5, 4, 3,
Do not know.
2, 1.
gonna let it
Pens
go.
down, please. To start with William.
Just flat out didn't have it.
Dan.
Is it Just Friends?
It is not.
Looking for Waiting.
Oh.
Waiting.
That isn't even the one
Just
I was thinking
waiting.
of, So, yeah.
I know Dane Cook's filmography so well. I
David
can't believe I
Kelly.
missed that.
Did you see his Dennis Rodman film?
Yes.
Terrible in it.
I remember.
Double take.
Yes.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Here we go.
No, Double Team was the. I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Double Team.
Yeah, Double Team was the Van Damme. Anyway.
It doesn't matter. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Now, here we go. Question 7.
It's actually Simon Says
Let's
with the
just
SEZ.
ask the question. Number 7 is from horror/thriller.
Oh, lovely.
Horror thriller. Karen Kusama directed this 2009 horror film that was written by Diablo Cody and stars Amanda Seyfried.
Excited to go eat in Houston?
On a horse.
They have a deep freezing rhino horse
5,
in Houston.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go with Devil.
Dan.
Jennifer's Body?
It is. William.
Jennifer's Body.
Correct. 6-5. 6-5.
It's an excellent film,
All
too.
right, your last question comes from Patreon. That's right, this is a Patreon question, courtesy of Andy Schick.
Andy Schick.
Thank you, Andy, for being such a great supporter. If you want to have your name read on a future match or even championship match, make sure you check out the Movie Trivia Schmoedown Patreon today. More details at triviasd.com. Now, Andy Schick, a longtime supporter of us, he wanted a question in the world of dramas. And Andy's question is, in 2018's A Star is Born, Jackson Maine's limo driver and rehab therapist are played by 2 of Bradley Cooper's co-stars from the TV show Alias. Name one of those actors.
Good question, Mr. Schick.
Kind of got a Murrell.
That question is the Schick.
4, 3,
Nope.
2, 1. Pens down. William.
Victor Garber?
Incorrect. Dan.
I wrote John Favreau, but I don't know.
Looking for either Greg Grunberg or Ron Rifkin.
Grunberg!
Grunberg! 6-5, though.
No, it's Sarave!
6-5. Bibbiani only missed
Still can't believe they missed that.
2,
And JT, how dare they? It's The Lion King. You should know everything about The Lion King. The movie's coming out. You should have rewatched it a zillion billion times.
And the champion Dan Murrell elected to not have spinner's choice and opponent's
Wise
choice on the
decision.
wheel. So we have
It would
12 different
never turn out well.
You know how represented by a wheel slice. If you spin that slice, you're going to get 4 questions inside that world. Each question is worth 2 points. There's no penalty for missing a question. However, stealing is available in round number 2. If a competitor misses a question, your opponent does have the ability to answer it themselves for points. If you are not sure of the answer, you can ask us for multiple choice. We'll give you 4 options, one of which is the correct answer. At that point, the value of the question goes down to 1. And this wheel today here, Christian, is a sponsored wheel. Mr. Justin Roby sponsoring the wheel. Thank you, Justin, for sponsoring the entire championship wheel. His sponsored slices for today's match are 2010s and mixed bags.
Oh,
so thank
2010s.
you,
There's a
Justin,
2010s
for all your
wedge.
Support and patronage.
All right. So
They
both the
finally
champion
put
and the challenger have all their
2010s.
key rules. They both have their challenges, and because Dan has a 1-point lead, would you like to go?
I think my wedge looked a little bit better.
Second, all right, then the
It had
challenger will
Thanos,
spin the
the
wheel. Spin. Nice
That
spin
is
from the beast. Got
good
such good
form.
etiquette. Got
Good
very
form.
good etiquette on that
Jamie
wheel.
Foxx's character from Django Unchained and the La La Land
Did you see
pose.
the follow through at the bottom?
I did.
It was very Fred McGriff baseball DVD.
So he's going to go with dramas. Dramas.
Does he want to keep dramas?
He's going to spin away.
Spinning away. There's that follow through again.
Fade is in the wheels.
With the
hand.
slight mannequin pose.
Fade
That's
is
right.
in the
Doesn't matter
wheels.
what he spins because there's no opponents
No.
or spinners. It's just that's what
He
the
wants to
category
get
is.
one of his strengths, obviously.
You'd have to look
Kevin
at
Smith.
Kevin
All
Smith. All
Kevin
right.
Smith. Kevin Smith. And we start. All right. William, you get 4 questions and Kevin Smith. In Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, there was a sequel mentioned to Good Will Hunting. Good Will Hunting 2 blank. What was the subtitle?
Hunting Season.
That's correct. Correct.
One is reminded of another Van Damme movie.
Hmm.
Who plays retired seaman Howard Howe in Tusk?
Oh, Michael Parks.
That's correct. 2 points.
Wow. He knows his Kevin Smith,
Yep.
Christian.
Next question.
Well, kinda.
In Dogma, what is the name of the new religious icon Cardinal Glick is trying to make famous through his Catholicism Wow campaign?
Oh, Buddy Christ.
2 more points.
Not the rubber
Cool.
poop
I
monster.
would have gotten tripped up by Buddy Jesus.
Yeah. Last question. What is the name of the first porn film that Zack and Miri set out to make in Zack and Miri Make a Porno?
Oh.
5,
think I know, but multiple choice.
Is it A, Lord of the Dings, Harry Popper, C, Indiana Bones, or D, Star Wars?
I just wanted to hear you come up with a bunch of made-up porn movies. That was delightful. It's Star Wars.
That's correct. One more. All right.
Family man Christian Harloff rattling off porn movie names.
All right, so now Bibbiani finds himself.
Now I'm curious as to who submitted that question. What did Salisky come up with it?
The wheel, and we'll spin it and hopefully land on something.
Because if he did, clever names.
If he wants to stay in contention.
Here he goes. He is very afraid of the pegs. There it goes. Round and round.
Round and round we go.
It is a 5-round match, Christian, but round 2 is still so crucial to a competitor's chances at winning.
Stanley Kubrick. Staying with it.
He's going to keep Stanley Kubrick movies.
Good choice.
Staying with Stanley Kubrick.
I'll take it.
All right, here we go. Stanley Kubrick.
All right, Dan. You have spun Stanley Kubrick movies. You selected it, so you're going to get 4 questions about that guy.
That dude.
First question.
The dude.
Who wrote the screenplay for Spartacus?
Dalton Trumbo.
Give him 2 points.
Nice.
Correct.
We also would have accepted Bryan Cranston. Your next question.
Really?
Which war is the setting of Kubrick's film Paths of Glory?
World War I.
2 more points. He pulls to within 2
Nicely done.
of Bibbiani. It's 12 to 10. Your next question. What cast member from the original Star Wars trilogy was cast as a bodyguard in A Clockwork Orange?
David Prowse.
That's a deep cut, and that is correct for
Nicely
2
done.
points. The guy inside Darth Vader's costume. And your last question. In the world of Stanley Kubrick, which you seem to have a fair amount of knowledge about, what
It would seem.
Kubrick film was adapted from a novel by William Makepeace Thackeray?
Multiple choice.
Is it A, 2001 A Space Odyssey, B, Lolita, C, Barry Lyndon, or D,
Barry
Clockwork
Lyndon.
Orange?
Barry Lyndon.
That's a point for
Boom!
Dan, and that's the lead.
Wow, what a fight so far. 13-12.
Wow.
Round number 2 sees the champion with a 1 point. Both strong, both very strong in the second round. And now we get to round number 3, which is the betting round, Mark. How does that go?
The betting round, so the wheel ain't going anywhere just yet because Dan Murrell.
You have one more duty for
that wheel one more time.
before you can
Whatever category Dan spins,
have a beer.
The competitors are going to hear a question from said category. Now that question's point value is going to be determined by you. You can wager 0 points. You can wager all the way up to 3 points. But keep in mind, if you get the question correct, you will gain that many points. If you get the question wrong, you lose.
I'd like you to hit mixed bag just to see what they bet, and then see what question gets
how
asked.
confident you are in terms of points in said category, and then we'll ask you the question. So Dan, when you're ready,
Okay.
hop on back over to the wheel and give it a spin.
It's everything we wanted so far from the championship match, Mark.
Well,
Yeah, this
mixed
is-
bag, mixed bag. Because I'm sick like that. I'm a very sick man.
Beat that heavy Burbank traffic here today.
Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Land here.
Oh,
Kubrick again.
yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
So
Anything.
Is
So
there
now,
a better category you can spin for the betting round?
Now,
strategy here because
how much you gonna risk?
So what
Going
do they do?
down,
How
down,
confident
down,
are they? What they're gonna get?
You got to wonder if it's going to be a question about a director because William Bibbiani pretty much aced the Kevin Smith category.
Right.
And then Dan Murrell did very well in Stanley Kubrick despite not having a question about the Kubrick film, The Moon Landing.
All right.
Dude.
All right, here we go. So
Low blow.
and
Just a little joke.
we have seen. So guys, have you written your points down? All right, points are written down. Here is your question. Here's your question. Okay. Will Smith portrayed famous boxer Muhammad Ali in Ali, which was released in which year?
Oh, my God.
Movie release dates question.
It's a mixed bag.
Coming out of mixed bag.
5, 4,
2005?
2, 1. William, how many points?
2.
And you bet?
2004.
And Dan, how many points?
2.
And you bet?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I meant
I'm
you.
sorry.
You
And you
answered.
said you answered?
2001.
2001 is correct.
Oh.
Dan gets 2 points. William loses 2
What
points.
a swing in the betting round here. Christian mixed bag, so it could have been anything, and it ended up skewing for Dan Murrell in the category of a movie release date question. So now Dan Murrell, 5 points over William Bibbiani. And now we move on to the speed round where more points can be won or lost.
Yeah, well, you make a great point here, too, because William was doing pretty well in that Shire Wolves match in speed round. And, of course, the end, there was the mishap with the Beast.
Really?
William, all that stuff. But
Really?
he was playing well, William.
Cheap shot.
And now
Cheap shot.
we find ourselves, if William can get himself a good speed round here, he's right back in this thing.
Yeah, he really needs a good speed round here because Dan Murrell, the strategy really here is, does Murrell want to put his foot on the gas and try to get every question right, or does he want to hang back and see if William Bibbiani can get back in the ballgame or if he's going to sink his own ship? In round number 4, the buzzer round, because the buzzers are out. Here's how it works. There's a total of 5 questions. They're going to be asked by Christian Harloff. I, Mark Ellis, will be watching the buzzers to see who buzzes in first.
Yes! That's what you should always do. A spotter.
To give us your answer.
Very
if
simple.
You get an incorrect answer, or it takes you longer than 2 seconds to get the answer out of your mouth, you lose a point. If you get the question out of your mouth within 2 seconds, and it is correct, you gain a point. Like I said again, there's 5 total questions in the speed round. The time starts when I say you by name. So if I say Dan, you have 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, William, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
That's what screwed me up last time, so pay attention.
Do the competitors understand the rules as I have administered?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Christian, at your ready. And keep in mind, you don't have to wait till the end of the question to buzz in. As soon as you think you know it, have at it.
Here we go.
Dan knows the rules.
Here we go. All right.
Get the championship.
Can you tell them to me from the top one more time?
I actually can.
You lie!
Who plays the wizard Shazam in
William.
Jaimin Hansu.
Correct. 1 point.
These have been 4.
Which actor appeared in the following films? Chronicle, Red Tails, and That Awkward Moment.
William.
Michael B. Jordan.
Correct. Who directed 2002's Minority Report?
Dan.
Steven Spielberg.
Correct. Question 4. Which year saw the release of the Ang Lee film Life of Pi?
We're sitting this one out.
5, 4,
Burr,
3.
burr, 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 burr.
Answer was 2012.
It looks like Dan might want to take a shot there at the end.
I would have been wrong.
William Bibbiani took out early from
Here's
that
your
one.
last one. Which one of the following 2007 films was not nominated for Best Picture? Not Juno, There Will Be Blood, or Gone Baby Gone?
Juno.
Dan.
Gone, baby, gone.
Correct for
Oh.
1 point.
Wow.
Juno was
Dan
nominated for
keeps
Best
5
Picture?
points.
He's got the 5-point lead at the beginning of this match. William Bibbiani rattling off the first 2 very quickly. It looked like he could have tied it going into round 5, but then Dan comes roaring back. Neither one wanted to take a stab at another movie release day question. And Christian, like you said, we find ourselves again in a 5-point game with Dan Murrell walking into the final round with that lead.
Now, Bibbiani is only down 5, so he has a chance to come back here and win. If you look,
You've been playing great.
You're doing great.
Thank you, man.
Bibbiani finds himself 5 points down going into the
Sportsmanship.
championship round. Mark, how does round number 5?
Bibbs ain't gonna throw the belt.
As thus, it's like
Makura.
3, but this is a championship match, so that belt is on the line. Each competitor is going to give us a series of numbers. These numbers can range from 1 to 20. We need 3 total numbers within that set. Each number corresponds to a different corner of the movie Trivia Schmoedown Galaxy. The first question asks you.
That I have to. That will be a damn shame seeing that old belt get retired between Makuvia's cheeks.
And will, in all likelihood, determine
And not
the
these.
match. Because William Bibbiani is trailing Dan Murrell by 5 points, Dan, we're going to get your slate of numbers first, and then we're going to ask William his series of questions first.
Can I get number 8, number 14, and number 6, please?
Oh.
14 and 6 for the champion, the challenger.
1, 7, and 12.
1, 7, and 12 for William.
1, 7, and 12. You get the score.
Comic book movies. Comic book movies. In which DC movie can you hear the following quote? I won't.
Batman
save you,
Begins.
but I don't have to save you.
Batman Begins.
That's correct for 2 points.
Yeah, that's kind of murder.
Nice and quick.
All right. For the 3-pointer, William. 3-pointer. Pixar. Pixar. Okay. At the beginning of 2006's Cars, there is a 3-way tie between veteran The King rookie Lightning McQueen and infamous Chick Hicks. Who voices Chick Hicks?
Paul Beatty.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Will Arnett.
We're looking for Michael Keaton. Michael
Really?
Keaton.
Ah,
Yeah, Michael Keaton.
didn't know that.
I like
As
that
you
Will
can
Arnett
tell.
guess, though.
Yeah, I did like good. It was a good guess. So William Bibbiani finds himself in this position. He has a 5-pointer with his number 12. If he hits
then
it,
and
now
then
he's
he's got to
back to
hope.
champion. However,
Dan's got to get a
if
lot
he
of
misses,
questions
Dan
wrong,
Murrell will
which
find
is not
himself with a
very
TKO
Murrell-like.
victory. Here is the category and question, William. Romance films. Romance films.
Interesting.
In Serendipity, John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale meet in Bloomingdale's while trying to buy what?
Well, I've never seen it,
5,
so this is fun.
4, 3.
A ring.
And your winner, by way of technical knockout, and still undisputed movie trivia Schmoedown, champion of the world, Dan Murrell.
Black gloves.
Black cashmere gloves.
Black gloves.
Black cashmere
They
gloves.
factor into the movie. You throw a glove and then, oh yeah, we do love each other and all that. But that's that movie, Christian. You want to talk about serendipity? How about Dan Murrell and William Bibbiani going toe-to-toe? Murrell finding himself with a 5-point lead going into round 3. He did not have to answer a question, although Bibbiani gave a great game.
And Dan Murrell is the first champion to defend the singles title since Sam Levine retired.
I remember
over a
that
year
guy.
ago. So
Ha!
Dan Murrell now, that is Dan Murrell's 4th title defense in all of his runs. He has beaten William Bibbiani. And what a run by William Bibbiani leading here today. One more round of applause for William the Beast Bibbiani. But now Dan Murrell will take that championship as he and John Roca head on to Houston to play double toasted. Dan will walk in, shoulders still as heavy as it is right now. And we are going to talk to Jen Sturger, who's got the champion and the challenger. Here we go.
What's up, movie trivia Schmoedown fans? Jen Sturger here with your still champion, Dan Murrell. Dan, I feel like we've spent a lot
He's
of
now
time
tied
together.
for most singles wins
I
with
know,
John the Outlaw
because they
Roca.
always involve you winning and standing in this winner's circle with me, it seems. You've had a crazy year.
Yeah.
You really have. What is
Yeah.
this? So this is like your 4th title defense in your career, your first since obviously regaining the belt. How does this all feel?
It feels great. I love to play the game. Every round is awesome, but it actually, knowing that since I retired, no one had been able to hold on to this. There had not been a belt defense. Well, it's not since I retired, but since Levine, since Sam was here, that no one has been able to hold on to this. I love setting a new challenge for myself, and I think that it kind of echoes down to the rest of the league. I love for people to just get that much more fire, because I think that was a great match. I know it was a TKO, but I don't think that speaks to how well that match was played.
Actually your 8th knockout. How crazy is that?
It's weird.
It's a lot.
I feel
You're
like
more
it
than
doesn't
7.
matter. I feel like they're still just as hard. Like I felt like that match against Bibbiani was just as hard as.
Was it because you were standing? How was standing, by the way?
You know what? I kind of dig it. Like, I don't think I would do it if I wasn't
The
playing
booth
him,
didn't
'cause
like
that's
it. You're
kinda
way
his
too
thing.
tall for
yeah,
this.
so I tried to do like the stance where I'm like squatting a little bit, but yeah, I mean that's his thing. I think if I'm playing that gentleman over there, and I think we will be many times, I'll do it. But it'll probably be back to sitting down the next time.
Look, I mean, Bibbs, Ethan, we've seen you play some of the biggest monsters in this game. Like, who is out there that could still potentially rival you and challenge you?
I mean, anyone could rival. I learned this the hard way. Anyone could rival and challenge me on any given day. But there are players out there that I haven't had a chance to play that people want to see.
Like who?
I've never played Drew McQueenie. Never played him one-on-one. I've never played Rachel Cushing one-on-one. There are some elite players in this league.
I don't know
I've
that
yet to
this
play.
building can handle that kind of competition.
That would be a
We
hell of a
may need
match.
some reinforcements.
Yeah, there's so many people out there that I would love to play, and just 3 rounds, 5 rounds, whatever the situation is, to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, I know this feels great, but I do
like
have
it.
to ask you.
Yes.
You still have Houston coming up against Double Toasted.
Yeah.
With Roca.
Yeah.
You a little bit nervous? Like, is it weird going into these live events like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, live events, there's a different energy to it that just adds an extra bit of adrenaline.
A bit of randomness.
If something's going to go wrong, if you blank or something, that you don't have to wait for the audience to watch it at home. It's happening in real time right in front of you. Adding on top of that, and I've said it before, we're playing an away game. I mean, that is Double Toast. It's hometown. They're going to have hometown fans. That is going to be a hostile environment for John and I to walk into, and it's something I don't think we've ever really done as a team before.
It's not ECW one-night stand levels hostile.
Go in there and take care of business.
I mean, isn't that what you two do best?
We try.
Well, congratulations again, man. I am so pumped for you. Bibbiani, I mean, you got to give it to him. He put up a hell of a fight today.
It's a great game.
But the GOAT showed up again.
Thank you very much.
What can I say?
I'm gonna try to keep on holding on to this thing. I like this. I like this version of talking to you, and not the one where I'm like weeping.
Me too. Oh, Bibbs.
I'm good.
You promise?
I promise.
I
I'm
know
good.
how you
Look,
are after these
no,
things.
No. First off, there is no shame to losing to Dan Murrell. Like
Hell
none whatsoever.
No.
I wish I'd gotten him to answer a question in the final round. That's kind of lame. What are you gonna do? But honestly, and I'm not kidding, and this is incontrovertible, 100% serious. I'm thrilled because you know what? I got a loss against Dan out of my system. You know, like I took him down. That was a practice match.
Yeah.
That was me going up there, giving him my best shot. I wanted to win. Didn't go my way. That's fine. Mixed bag. Didn't know they mixed it with
mixed bag in the betting round.
I didn't know they mixed it with
honestly-
poop. I didn't know they mixed it with poop. The poopy movie release states category. I did not know that they mixed it with poop. But that's fine. It's fine.
He got the same question.
But I'll be back. I'll be back, Dan. One way or another, I will be back. And we're going to do this thing for real next time because, yeah, that was a practice match for me.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like if this would have been an Iron Man match, we could have been looking at a different scenario.
I'm not in a position where I get to declare Iron Man matches. I don't know.
But you'd love one.
Oh,
Let's
I'd
be
love
real.
one. Oh my God, yeah.
Let's be real.
If I had won this.
Oh yeah.
And I was gonna. But if I had won this, and then Dan had been like, I want a rematch, I'm going to use my championship thing I got from Free For All, I'll be like, okay, yeah, but it's Iron Man now. Yeah, it's Iron Man now. You got to do Iron Man. You got it, because that's what the people want. They don't want these regular matches. You want Iron Man matches. Everyone likes Iron Man.
I just feel like you got really screwed.
Everyone
by
loves
the
Iron
just
Man until
actual
he,
game itself.
you know
what I mean? Not the movie knowledge, because let's be real. When it comes to movie knowledge, you and Dan, you're at the top of the food chain.
Honestly, you miss a question in first round in a championship match. You go to yourself, well, that sucks. But so did Dan. You know, I was one down from him, but no one got a perfect round right there. And honestly, that kind of took the pressure off because they're like, okay, you know what? Neither of us is going to give the most impressive performance anyone has ever seen. Yeah. So we're just playing a match.
So you just haven't seen all the Cars movies or Serendipity?
I have seen all the Cars movies. I think I was confusing with the wrong character.
Yeah.
I think maybe they recast him in Cars 3. I'm going to have to look that one up.
But
that one kind of bugs me.
You haven't seen Serendipity?
I have not seen Serendipity, but
my wife is going to be so disappointed about that.
Okay, first off, my wife doesn't care. Secondly, I have seen Till There Was You, which is like the other Serendipity, and I thought that counted, but apparently not. Apparently that's not the same thing. So, whoops.
But you still do have that #1 contender shot.
Oh, I have a #1 contenders, and that's something I'm going to have to contend with. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to use that on. Here's the deal. With the #1 contenders match, you don't get to pick your contender. I have to wait and see how the field comes out. And right now, I don't know who the contenders are. So I don't know if I'm going to use that for teams yet. I don't, because the Odd Couples got their title shot. I don't know who's coming up next, and I don't know who is going to be the new singles contender either. It could be Mark or Jeff or anyone. It could be anybody. So I'm going to just wait and see.
Hold your cards.
Pick my moment. I'm just going to swoop in like a swoopy thing.
You gonna come back from the future like you did last time?
Yeah.
Swoops. And I'm going to swoop it up. Okay. Swoop, there it is. Swoop, there it is.
Yeah, we're done here.
Growl, growl.
Look, as you come back, Williams obviously a little bit. He's not thrilled with the
guy
loss,
wanted to win.
No, but he gives a lot of respect to Dan. I know how much respect he has for Dan and how much he admires Dan. You know,
very classy matchup between two very classy competitors.
It was good to see, and Dan didn't have to use any title shot here today. He still got that in his back pocket. So what will he do with it? What will we see? I mean, the focus went from this in the respect to Bibbiani to sitting back and wondering, is he going to defend that title at Collision? What is going to happen
Who
with
knows?
the Founding Fathers? What will happen with
You
Corruption?
got to
What's
tell us
gonna
that.
happen with that title shot? We don't know. There's a lot of questions, but Dan Murrell, one more victory. He's the first person to ever go to 12 victories. He's got another title defense. This is his first title defense. In
John's
his
already got 12.
reign. He's just adding to the
Wrong.
numbers.
I got to correct the commissioner.
Need a championship
or the chairman. That's even worse. Got to correct the chairman.
I don't know. He can put it on eBay for all I care. I mean, he does not seem to need it because he keeps winning every time he steps in front of a live audience, at the studio, here, wherever Dan Murrell is. He's going to get more trivia questions correct than you, and it looks like him and John Rocha are going to try to prove that again against the hometown favorite, Double Toasted, in Houston, May 18th.
That's the big thing, though, here. That is the big thing, because out there with those belts are the Shire Wolves, the team belts, right? And Rachel Cushing is a double champion. Sam Levine has been a double champion. Dan Murrell wants to be a double champion. Don't be confused by anything. He wants to be a double champion. So will we see him go down the line to play for the team?
Okay.
But the thing is, they're on a road that they might not need that team title shot. Houston's going to say a lot. So if you are able to, if you can check it out, come to Houston at the Booker T Arena, where Booker T himself
Where in the world is Booker T? I remember that Schmoedown rundown. I remember y'all used to do that.
If you're a patron, you can get it at the $10 level. If not, it'll be available. Just go to either triviasd.com, which the great William Bibbiani runs that over there, so make sure you check that out every day. But there's so much going on. I'm so glad that we were able to call this match together.
A fun matchup between two all-time great champions. Like we said, there's a lot of competitors vying for those 4 Mount Rushmore kind of spots here, the movie Trivia Schmoedown, and we saw 2 of the top contenders for that honor down the road here today.
So, guys, please comment below. What do you think? Who's going to be the one that can take the title away from Dan? Who's out there right now that you would like to see him challenge? How's it going to go? There's a lot at stake right now, a lot of balls in the courts to see what's going to happen and which contenders are going to be able to face Dan Murrell. A lot of great matches. Sam Levine has his hands full as commissioner. Emma's got her hands full as the team's commissioner. So many matches coming up for the great Baby Carrots. Mark Ellis. I'm
great.
We'll see you next time.
I'm excited, but I'm going to keep it very professional. I can totally do this. It's going to be fun. Hey, Rachel.
Hi, you gave me a call. It's so good to see you. I'm not sure what's going on, but first, honestly, we haven't had a chance to say this yet, but you are killing it as a commissioner. Not that I ever had any doubt, honestly, but everything you've done for the Intergeekdom League, for the Teams League, what you're doing for the Patreon, like, you're everywhere and everything, and I'm so happy you made the right decision, and whether it's a biased thing or not, I think you're the best commissioner we've ever had.
Well, obviously, I think I'm a little biased as well, and I'm so proud of everything that you guys have continued to accomplish. And actually, speaking of your accomplishments, that's kind of the reason why I called you here today. Obviously, I know from all of our time together when I was managing you guys and our study sessions, how much winning the Intergeekdom belt means to you. It was something that you fought for so long, and I couldn't be prouder that you got it. And so I also know that the old Intergeekdom belt was really heavy. Yeah. So
they're going to introduce the next one
today to present you with the new,
oh my god,
ever so slightly less heavy Intergeekdom belt.
The Intercontinental.
Gorgeous.
Oh no,
Ward original.
I do believe so.
Yes,
that's
incredible.
Yeah,
so much better on the shoulder.
Yeah. Well, I hope your other shoulder is ready as well, because there's more.
Oh boy.
Here's the Team Championship belt.
The World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championship.
It's almost as much yours as it is ours.
Yeah, I know. You, Clark and Rachel and I won these belts together, and I'm so proud that you guys still have them. So there you go.
Oh my god. These are absolutely stunning. You are amazing. And this was perfect. I wouldn't want to get these from anybody else.
Well, thank goodness. I am the commissioner of Team Intergeekdom, so there is nobody but me that could present them. So.
What's up, Schmoedown fans? Frank here, and it is time for your
welcome back, Frank. Been a long time since I've been able to do that.
Was Dan Murrell's 9th match in the 5-round format, a division
Breaking
record.
news.
His opponent,
That's
William
locked.
Bibbiani, came into this match riding high after incredible performances in the #1 contenders match and the free-for-all. As the first round ended, just 1 point.
Should have came out to a spazzy entrance. Then you'd have been more motivated.
2 points lower than his career average, while Murrell's 6 points was right in line with how he usually performs. In the second round, it was pretty much a stalemate as both added 7 points to their total. Bibbiani has not missed a second round question in 4 straight matches and has earned 84% of those points. Likewise, Murrell has gone 4 for 4 in 3 straight matches now, as well as earning 7 points in each of those outings. Now the third round is where things start to fall apart for the Beast.
Not his fault. They just gave me mixed bag, just like I wanted.
At the end of the round, a 1-point deficit for Bibbiani quickly turned into being down 5 points heading into the speed round. Once again, nothing was gained or lost by either player at the end of the round, since both went 2 for 2. If Bibbiani was going to make a fight of it, it would have to happen in the final round. He was able to get through his 2-pointer, but then would come up blank on his 3 and 5 pointers, which resulted in a TKO win for the defending champ, Dan Murrell, by a score of 17 to 14.
Super Bowl 42 final score. Giants over Patriots.
First at how Bibbiani played, he went 12 of 19 for an accuracy rate of 63%. That's 15% below his career average. And Bibbiani has now played
that possible points earned.
Matches. As for the champion Dan Murrell, he answered 87% of his questions, and with today's win, he has now won 4 in a row. In fact, he's the only player to have 2 separate 4-game winning streaks. So let's take a look at both of these runs. Now, when it comes to accuracy rate, there is no doubt that this second run by him is by far a more superior streak. His accuracy rate is up by 9%, and the same can be said for his possible points earned. Last time he earned 70% of his points. Now in this run, he has earned 79%. Now let's take a look at some of his other overall numbers and where they stack up against the rest of
big number, big number, big number, big number, big number.
To earn 12 victories. The first to do it was John Roca, and his 16 matches is the 3rd most.
I already knew that because I won the thing to get it.
And his PPE percentage of 72% are both 3rd best all time, and he has earned 282 lifetime points, which puts him at number 2 for most all time. And as for his steal rate of 72%, that makes it the 4th best steal rate of all time. And lastly, his 8 combined knockouts, consisting of 1 KO and 7 TKOs, are the most all time. If you want to find out other stats about this match and from around the league, check out SD Rundown Stats on Twitter. And don't forget to check out the Schmoedown Rundown every weekend right here on the Movie Trivia Schmoedown channel on YouTube, and also on the Schmoedown podcast feed every Saturday. This has been your Schmoedown Breakdown.
I finally get to say it again. Thank you, Frankie's Stats Janish. So, thank you, Frank, and Bibbs, and Dan, and Mark, and Christian, and Jan, and everybody who made that match possible. I actually predicted that on the Facebook page, Dan by the KO-TKO format. Even though I didn't really have a particular favorite, it was just a feeling that I had. As good as Bibbiani had been playing, it's just hard to maintain that kind of momentum for a long period of time. So I guess in the question of the match between person with a lot of momentum and player with a ton of momentum, I guess the player with a ton of momentum came out on top. So I guess a lot is not quite a ton, which is unfortunate. Maybe it's a ton. No, maybe it's half a ton. So yeah, that's unfortunate. So So where Bibbs goes from here, I'm going to assume that he will. My personal opinion is he's going to end up using that #1 contendership shot on teams. I think he wants another crack at becoming the team champions again. Obviously, he wasn't the biggest fan of how that team title match, went. So I think he's more determined to try and get back in that facet. Singles competition, I think his gameplay will always be allowed to keep him in the conversation for a singles title shot. And I don't think this is going to hurt him that much to that extent. So I think ultimately he will use it on teams. So the interesting question is, who will Dan's next challenger be? This is interesting because Christian made a poll about 2-3 days ago asking if the community thought Rachel Cushing would play in singles again this year. And at the time, I was like, no, probably not. And Rachel's my favorite player. Everybody knows that by now. But I was like, I like to, but probably not. I mean, she's the champion of the other two divisions. We all know it kind of burned her out when she tried the whole 3 divisions at a time thing. She got that close to becoming singles champion, and she has not played a singles match in literally a year and a half. So when that question was poised, I was a little bit intrigued yet confused. With what they set up here, it's possible that Rachel could maybe get back in singles. It would be interesting. Dan versus Rachel is obviously a match that, pretty much like every other title match recently, I would never be able to pick a favorite, never be able to pick sides. So it's going to be interesting to see where that will go. The other thing was at the beginning, the pre thing with Sam and Dan. You know what? I would like to see it, so I'm just going to say it. What the hell? I would like to see it, and this, of course, is if Dan's not the champion. If Dan's not the champion, I would like to see them do the dream match, the second encounter dream match between Dan and Sam at the Spectacular. Obviously, if he's not the champion, it makes it easier to do that. Just settle the debate once and for all on the grandest stage of Schmoedown at the Spectacular. But again, that's if he's not the champion. Because they seemed like they teased it. Seemed like they made something of it. Christian mentioned, a time back that he wanted to do that at one of the live shows. Ironically, the first one that I ended up going to, that was originally the plan when he had announced that Dan was going to compete in that, because everybody thought that he was going to beat Guy, and then that would set up the title match, the second encounter between Dan and Sam. And then that match didn't go the way we thought it was going to, and so that whole plan went out the window. So it seems like they might be trying to tease that again, and might be able to get a definitive destination to that this time. Obviously, if it doesn't work out the first time, just try to go for it again. And it seems like Spectacular 4 may be where they tried to do that, if they're capable of doing it. But who's going to complain about a Dan Murrell Sam Levine rematch? It's the dream match. It'll finally shut up all the people that think Sam Levine's the GOAT. He's not the GOAT, folks. The person with the belt's the GOAT right now. Everybody knows that. But so yes, it was a great match. Unfortunately, TKO finish. Would have liked to have seen a couple more questions get asked, but that's just the level of competition in the singles match. One bad category, one bad question can skewer a result. Even though the gameplay is very, very good. So we'll just have to wait and see where everything goes from here. They've set up a lot of storylines, and all the new belts have now been revealed. So it's great. All the old belts get to go in the cupboard, and Sam Levine can just massage them as long as he wants. So that's going to do it for this edition of JTH Reacts to the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. Always watch their content first. It is the right thing to do. Follow me on Twitter at WWEJTH1. I post all my, almost all my reactions. I don't want to lie like that. Got to be honest with you. So I post most of my reactions onto that channel. And join all the official Movie Trivia Schmoedown content. The Facebook page, the Twitter page at the Schmoedown, the official website, triviasd.com. Become a Patreon if you can. It goes a long way. Allows them to put on great matches like this and great live shows. And yeah, that's it. I was getting ready to say something else, and I was like, wait, there's nothing else to say. So until next time, I get to say this again. Next time, we will finally get to see who Stacey Howard's partner is that I have known for 2.5 months, but haven't been able to say a damn thing about it. And finally, they will reveal it. And they get to play Robert and Vanessa from Late to the Party, another team that I've been waiting to see for a very, 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 very long time. And knowing that, the losing team will split up. Because that's what we've seen all year so far. So, I'll see you for that match, and hopefully no team will split up. And hopefully, I won't split after that match is over. So, until then, thank you for watching. This is JTH. I bid you adieu-adieu.